At the end of our deliberations, we are expected to provide adequate and practical answers to security concerns related to the organization of regional elections and end-of-year festivities. These measures will then add to the measures already taken by the government of the Republic prior to the start and holding of classes in the regions, strengthening security system and territorial networking, and safeguarding schools specifically in the Northwest, Southwest, and Far North regions. Consequently, vigilance and anticipation already prescribed must be maintained and even intensified. This implies that intelligence should be at the center of all our priorities.
With campaigns for the upcoming first ever regional elections slated for November 21, 2020, securing urban regions before, during, and after elections will be preoccupation of the governors, as they will be expected to present the security situation and challenges of their region related to organization of the elections and end-of-year festivities. Opening today's session with a moment of silence for the 7 children killed at the Mother Francisca International Bilingual Academy Kumba on October 24. For 2 days, governors will discuss the health and security challenges facing the country.
The role of the Popular Action Party, PAP, has been installed. The installation ceremony took place over the weekend in the presence of top officials. Details with Lasha Kinsley.
Sensitization campaign on IGP sensitization and empowerment based on COVID-19. This is because we noticed that all what the government was doing, IGPs were not in their agenda.
The Popular Action Party last Saturday, November 14, 2020, had a walking and empowerment session with some youths of Yaoundé 6. The intellectually and politically equipped young men and women grouping themselves into a PAP conventional bureau was endorsed by the Central Regional Congress of PAP and adopted by the PAP National Council.
Yaoundé 6 today, it is because they are up to task and they are proving beyond reasonable doubt that they are ready to carry the party in higher heights. And for those of the other members who have written to us in Douala, Bafoussam, and maybe Zindida or something like that in the days ahead we shall be coming and then see how we could push them and encourage them to continue with the fight that PAP has put in place to ensure that Cameroonians see the limelight of justice, democracy, peace, and living together.
The national president, Njang Denis, equally called on all Cameroonians to stand up and fight against what he terms dictatorship.
We are at a very crucial moment in our political map of the country, political history. We are living in a system where, I can say, dictatorial system, a tyrant, a system where the democracy has been hijacked, where freedom of speech expression has been hijacked, a system where some individuals feel that they own the country. So but I believe that those are the circumstances or what the consequences of the end of a tyrant or end of dictatorship. So I need to encourage everybody that this is a time that we need to hold our mind, hold our strength, put our hands together, put our hands in deck. We shouldn't give up because victory is already at the door.
While counting on the party's support, the president of PAP, Yaoundé 6 Convention, Prince Ejede Epie, during the installation ceremony pledged to take the party to the next level.
Mr. President, the Yaoundé 6 Convention of the Popular Action Party is going forward backward, never. We know and have the conviction that we have chosen the right path. We also know that you will give us your full support as we respect party lines while carrying on our activities. In this light, we thank each and every one here present today who made this occasion a success.
The party's hierarchy revealed during the ceremony that similar exercises will be carried out in the days ahead in the west and littoral regions of the country.
And on this human interest story, after a long unsuccessful search of the body of a 16-year-old who allegedly fell into a well in Buda, the young boy reappeared today after over 24 hours. He explained facts relating to his disappearance. Gladys Bomotongina compiled the following in the French language.
Tirez la vie comme ça là, sur ses fesses, il a lâché avec mon téléphone,
Plusieurs tentatives infructueuses, on n'a pas pu accéder à la victime.
C'est une histoire qui bafoue l'entendement humain. Supposé être au fond d'un puits depuis la soirée de samedi, le jeune héros âgé de 16 ans et résidant dans la ville de Mbouda avec sa grand-mère aurait ressurgi de nulle part, relatant lui-même aux gendarmes le récit de ses actions ce jour-là.
J'ai passé toute la journée à travailler, on n'a pas de mon argent. Je suis rentré. Ça m'énervait, je suis rentré, je suis tombé dans mon puits. Après, je suis ressorti à minuit pour aller au bas. Je ne savais pas comment chercher. Au bas, je n'ai pas envie d'écouter. Quand je suis tombé dans mon puits, arrivé au fond, tombé dans le gymnase, après je sors, je mets mes pieds, mes mains sur les bords.
À l'écoute de ce dernier, il s'agirait d'une action mystique servant à débarrasser certaines personnes de leurs problèmes en vue de les transférer à d'autres. Ceci selon les humeurs de ce garçon. Il accomplirait donc cette besogne pour un gain de 10 milliards de francs CFA.
Quand je tombe avec un problème, ce problème se résout. Tu prends le problème de tu prends tout le monde avec, tu donnes chez qui? Je les donne. Et les problèmes que tu prends, tu viens donner chez qui? Les gens. Les qui? Tu as donné à qui? Puis tu m'as donné aux gens. Mais si je te donne, tu vas me donner leurs problèmes. Je te maudis. Ok. Waouh. Tu as donné à qui dans ta famille? Personne. Personne. Tu donnes seulement aux gens. Tu as promis quoi? Et quoi encore? Des millions. Des millions. Des milliards. Des milliards. 10 milliards. 10 milliards.
Situation donnant froid au dos, mais interpellant aussi à plus de vigilance.
Yesterday was Presbyterian Church Day. Presbyterian Christians celebrated the day under the theme "Keep Watching." Christians of PCC Boya Road, Kumba, joined their peers nationwide to observe this year's edition of PCC Day. Tamfu Sidwan Dimbia was part of this celebration. He reports.
As one of the week-long activities towards the celebration of the 63rd edition of the Presbyterian Church Day in Kumba Presbytery, the PC Boya Road congregation embarked on a humanitarian activity by donating food items to IDPs living at Boya Road.
Sharing is caring. PC Boya Road cares for you people. We think about you all the time, and we thank God that we could share.
To the parish pastor, Reverend Ten Godlove, this gesture was to ensure that evangelism does not end only at the level of preaching, but giving.
Therefore, we come this morning with the little that we have as a congregation, that we have prepared as a congregation for our people who live among us here, as one of the aspects for the celebration of our Presbyterian Church Day.
The chairperson of the Needy Board Committee expressed gratitude to all those who contributed to the success of the humanitarian activity.
I equally wish to appreciate all of us, Christians of this congregation, that for the fact that you drop something each Sunday in that needy box, you are doing something which is very wonderful.
The IDPs who received food items from the PC Boya Road congregation expressed happiness and prayed that the church does same to other people. On Sunday, the congregation began celebrating the Presbyterian Church Day with a peace march, and later on at the church premises where several activities took place under the theme "Keep Watching." The moderator's message to the church was also read, and the entire congregation went into festive mode, while the Reverend Man of God cautioned them to remain steadfast in the Lord's vineyard.
Dolly Ngonde took keen interest in activities to mark this year's edition of Presbyterian Church Day in the littoral region. She compiled the following.
It is 63 years since 1957 when the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon gained autonomy from the Basel Mission as an independent church. On the occasion of the 63rd anniversary of the PC Day, celebrated under the theme Keep Watching, an inspiration from 1 Corinthians 16, Christians of PC Bonamosadi, Lompom, and Lundi have been exhorted to continually upholding their Christian values by the presiding pastor, the Reverend Ayub Jones Abot.
But there should be hopeful and watching.
Ushered through singing and dancing, the Christians praise God for his faithfulness to the PCC for over 63 years, and according to the parish pastor of PC Bonamosadi, here are some reasons behind the 63rd anniversary celebrations.
The church has achieved a lot in the area of evangelization, area of education, area of health, agriculture, and areas of self-sustenance and so on.
While transmitting the moderator's message, Reverend Ayub Jones also emphasized on the prelate's call for the Christians to be pragmatic.
The moderator's message could not have been timely and more contextual. When you look around, there are a lot of distractions. COVID-19 is distracting us. The Anglophone crisis as well. There can be no better message for us than that we should keep watching because God is in control.
On PC's 63rd anniversary, the church has exhibited acts of fellowship, kindness and communal living through dancing, singing, drama and lots more. And just like in this congregation, the day was crowned all over with the sharing of a common meal and drinks to call it a feast day.
Christians of Presbyterian Church for Bonadikumbo Parish equally joined Presbyterian Christians nationwide to celebrate the 63rd anniversary of Presbyterian Church Day. Kumano Rimbom reports.
Christian faithfuls of the Presbyterian Church Malfo Bonadikumbo joined Presbyterian Christians nationwide to celebrate the 63rd anniversary of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. The church service began with the hoisting of the Presbyterian flag, accompanied with songs of praises and thanksgiving, thanking God for adding another fruitful year to the life of the church. Drawing inspiration from the moderator's message, the parish pastor, Reverend Enanga Pamela Wilson, cautioned Christians to be watchful, prayerful, and to be on their guard, for nobody knows when the Master will come.
We ought to remain watchful, vigilant. We have to be on our guard, and we have to be alert as Christians. The times and the times are evil. The days are full of strange happenings. So as believers, we are challenged to keep the faith while we are on our guard, because the devil has many forms to manifest. Corona, the deadly virus, is one of them. The persistent crisis we are going through in the nation, particularly in the southwest and northwest, are one of those difficulties that the Christians have been challenged to forge on.
On her part, the congregational chairperson, Madame Boye Eposi Florence, called on Christians to shun evil and embrace peace for God's kingdom to reign amongst them.
We want to thank God that we have seen another year of our Presbyterian Church Day. Thank God very much, and we pray that our prayers that we have been having for the whole week should not go in vain, because we prayed for the whole country, Cameroon. We prayed for Northwest and Southwest. We prayed for our brothers and sisters at the north, and we also prayed for our children who are in the bushes, that God should touch their hearts, let them put down their arms and come back to town.
The second phase of the celebrations witnessed the award of certificate of recognitions to some Christians who have exemplified themselves in their pastoral lives.
Minister of External Affairs, His Excellency Jean Belambela, on behalf of the government of Cameroon and the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Gregoire Wona, has signed a convention with the African Regional Center for Labour Administration. This was over the weekend under the Ministry of External Relations in Yaoundé. This is aimed at enhancing the training of persons across the country. Audrey Zatsa completes the story in the following report.
Signing of the convention by the Minister of External Affairs, His Excellency Jean Belambela, and the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Minister Gregoire Wona, on the revised status of the African Regional Center for Labour Administration means that CRADAT will ensure initial or continuous training, specialization and refresher courses. The purpose of this signing ceremony was in accordance with the full powers conferred by the head of state to affix the signature of the government of Cameroon, represented by the Minister of Labour and Social Security, on the convention of the revised status of CRADAT. It equally aimed at boosting other member states to sign the said convention in order to speed up its entry in force.
This new legal instrument, characterized by a up-to-date content and tailored to help us achieve our shared ambitions, will be implemented against a backdrop where member countries express a growing need for high-level expertise in the field of industrial relations and social security.
Worthy of note is the fact that Yaoundé has been headquarters of the African Regional Center for Labour Administration, established in 1969 with 18 member states to ensure quality training on labour employment, vocational training, occupational health, human resources and child labour, of trade union leaders and business managers, social security, health and safety at work, as well as building the capacity of trainers in human resource management. To achieve its objective, CRADAT therefore works in collaboration with member states, intergovernmental organizations, civil society and other partners.
You're still on to the 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime. We now talk an annual investors summit registering the presence of business gurus in and out of the country took place in Douala over the weekend. The summit, organized by Tex Global and Value Chain Services, featured an award-giving ceremony to some meritorious investors. Darling Gonde tells us more.
In a world where network marketing and e-money investment schemes are often thought of with obscurity, the need to sieve the good grains from the bad ones is most pertinent. Organized by the leading agricultural consultancy firm Tex Global, this year's annual Investors Summit has been characterized with an ample up-to-date sensitization of the whole about investing with the latter. With the investors having come from far and near, the summit was the right platform for them to fully understand the goal, mission, vision, and values of Tex Global.
Project a plan that is meant to help the average man attain financial freedom. So how we do that, we make them realize what it actually means to get into financial work by promoting agricultural products.
As a legally recognized company by the state, their focus on agricultural-based businesses goes as far as ensuring food security to the world with the aim of boosting the agricultural sector. Still, during the annual summit, the participants were thrilled by a host of comedians and artists with the chanting of the theme song dubbed Tex Global. The investors even grabbed more knowledge on investment. After a series of presentations, the many present during the summit, especially the non-members, saw reasons as to why they had to invest, but not without listening to the experiences of others. At the end of the summit, a car, mobile phones, television sets, certificates of recognition, and other items were awarded to the leading investors, as some now share their joy.
I was honored this day as the best summit award 2020. I have over 5,000 points on the Tex Global. That's why I'm giving me a car worth 3 million francs.
With the symbolic cutting of a cake and the sharing of a common meal, the foundation stone for next year's summit has indicatively been laid off.
We also talk about a training workshop for members of World Bank Public Policy Assessment Committee to enable disadvantaged regions in the country in terms of energy installation in the east, north, west, southwest, far north. 80 localities from these regions will benefit from the electrification and energy access. Details with Jean Didier in the French language.
La ville de Bétois, qui vient d'accueillir un atelier régional de formation des membres de la commission constat et évaluation des politiques de la Banque mondiale, afin de permettre aux régions de favoriser en installation énergétique, à savoir la région de l'Est, les régions du Nord-Ouest et du Sud-Ouest, ainsi que le Grand Nord, de bénéficier d'un projet d'électrification de 80 localités. 34 localités des départements du Oignon et du Lom et du Rem dans la région de l'Est sont désormais concernées par un vaste projet d'électrification des zones qui ne bénéficient pas du réseau électrique. Représentants de l'administration, membres de la société civile et forces du maintien de l'ordre se sont retrouvés dans un hôtel de la place autour du gouverneur de la région de l'Est Grégoire Vongo et du coordinateur national du projet financé par la Banque mondiale et mis en œuvre par l'Agence de l'électrification rurale AER qui explique ici les différentes modalités de formation.
Il s'agira d'abord de constituer les dispositions réglementaires nationales en matière d'incarnation et dans un second plan, parler des orientations de sauvegarde de la Banque mondiale sur la politique opérationnelle 4.12. Et sur la base de ces deux aspects, nous allons sortir une autre méthodologie qui sera l'essentiel des commissions de constat et évaluation pour évaluer les biens et compenser dans une optique résiliente de l'augmentation de la pauvreté dans les localités.
Pour les populations de la région de l'Est, c'est une grande opportunité de développement qui s'ouvre à eux en attendant la mise en service de l'usine des pieds du barrage de Lompanga. Le projet évalué à plusieurs millions de dollars s'attellera progressivement dans 6 régions du pays afin de permettre un rééquilibrage en énergie électrique. Avec l'entrée en service totale du barrage de Lompanga et le ralliement dans le réseau interconnecté sud du département du Oignon, ce nouveau projet de la Banque mondiale permettra à coup sûr à la région de l'Est de briller de 1000 feux.
In sports, Victoria United Football Club of Limbe has started training ahead of the new football season in the southwest region of the country. The team has been training at the community field in Limbe and playing some friendly matches under the guidance of new coach Njoku Barnabas. Details with sportsman Fabrice Keninga.
After spending several years in the Southwest Inferior League, Victoria United Football Club alias Opopo, one people, one power, will continue their quest for an early ticket this football season to the newly acquired head coach of Opopo. It is an honor to manage such a legendary club.
Victoria United is one of the household names in the region, so it's always a pleasure to work with a club like this who have a great ambition. So I think it's a pleasure for me being here, and the team I'm looking up to make my ambition, my own personal ambition, successful. So I think I'm happy where I am.
The experienced gaffer says the club has a lot of potentials and will do all he can to ensure that the club returns to early glory.
My objective is to make sure, I think this club, I always have that belief there that this club is not where it's supposed to be. Coming here is to make sure that this club finds the glory of the early championship. And I think from what I'm seeing since I started my preparation here, there's a lot of motivation. And I think already we are in a good footing.
The club has been training at the community field in Limbe ahead of the new football season in the region. They picked up an important win over the weekend as they demolished Continental Football Academy of Boya by 3-0. In order to achieve his objectives, Coach Bana says he has kept 60% of last year's players. There has also been a change in management so as to ensure the club gets to the top. The advisor of the club reiterates that the mission given to the head coach is to take the club to the Interpols.
No, the advantage is simple. We need to go to Interpol.
Opopo, one people, one power, was relegated into Division 2 in 2004 as a result of managerial lapses. After 2 years in the Elite 1 Championship, Opopo was plunged into managerial hiccups when the then CDC General Manager of late Henry Njalakwan, who headed the team into Division 1 on October 16, 2003, resigned. From then till now, the club has been struggling in the inferior championship. Can this year be considered as a rebirth of the Southwest football powerhouse? For now, let's wait and see.
Thanks for staying with us. See you tomorrow, 6:30 Cameroon time, for another edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Ewane Eli Nolinga produced the news, coordinated by Lasha Kingsley. My name is Genda Belgium Blanche King. Stay tuned to My Media Prime right after now. Prime Hour will be live with Leonard and his analysts. Good night. Stay tuned.